Hey everybody, Denise here. I wanted to go through the scrapbook layout cutting guides that I'm going to be offering soon, whether it's in person for you here in my home, or you want to buy the cutting guide and the videos that go with it to do at home. So I wanted to show you some of the problems that have been delaying me, and I also think that this may help you kit your paper together. Now, I had to wait until I got my order of Stampin' Up. I wasn't going to order any more until the first quarter, where we actually have to order something, which would be January, but I did need the paper. And I wanted to do this video, and I've been putting it off, and I won't have time to scrapbook until my Christmas cards are done, but I wanted to try to get things ready, and I have been busy making cutting guides and layout guides, and I'm on, I think, number 4 now. So if you've never done them with me before, I make a cutting guide for a paper pack and cardstock that you're adding to it. It's anywhere from, it could be 4 double page layouts, 12 by 12. It could be 5, it could be 6. If it's a book, like I have one that's an album that I've done in years past, then it's like 2 paper packs. It's double. It's like a whole baby book from birth to 1 year and all the months in between. These I'm focusing on somewhere between 4 and 6 double page layouts. Now, the thing is, though, is the paper. And that's really what I want to talk to you about today. Now, I have tried, as I've done it, to keep in mind that when we had Close to My Heart, they made it very easy for us. I mean, we could order full packs of 12 by 12 paper, same color, and it was great. Or we could do a custom pack where we could pick and choose. It was 24 pieces, and you had to do it in pairs, at least in 2s. So you could get 4 sheets of this color, 2 sheets of that color, and it was custom. You could get exactly what you needed. Well, those are no longer options. Stampin' Up! Is slowly getting full 12 by 12 packs, but the variety may not be too terrible for what we're doing. The other thing is that when Close to My Heart had, this is one of their originals from almost when they ended. So when they put out a paper pack for scrapbooking or card making, there was always a coordinating cardstock pack. So you didn't have to buy a custom pack of 12 or 24. You didn't have to buy 4 full packs of the same color paper. You could simply buy the coordinating cardstock kit, and it had 2 sheets, if I remember right, 2 sheets each of 4 different colors and maybe a neutral thrown in there. I can't remember quite off the top of my head, but it was 8 or 10 pages. And it was perfect, because then you bought your paper pack for whatever it was, the $9. If you wanted the sticker pack, that was additional. I never usually did this one. I guess I happened to. And then if you wanted the stamp, you could buy the stamp. Everything was separate. It wasn't what Stampin' Up! I guess calls a suite, where it's the whole bundle put together. Yes, you can buy it separately. It'll cost you more money. Here, kind of the same, but I didn't feel like I needed it. Also, the images were meant for scrapbooking, so they were larger. So here was some of the differences. So what I did was I bought this, I call it a variety pack. This one happens to be the in color pack. So they've got colors that rotate for 2 years, they're in, and then they're done. And they're retired. So I got this, and then they have them in their 4 color families in addition to the in colors. So I also bought, in my box off to the side, the packs of the 4 color families in 12 by 12, because I like to scrapbook in 12 by 12. But I only get 2 colors of, or 2 sheets of each color in that pack. So if I needed 3, now I have to buy a whole nother pack of variety if they don't happen to offer that color in 12 by 12 packs yet. So it's a bit different, and it's a little bit daunting because it's a bigger expense to just make some layouts. So that's another thing that I wanted to go through with you and talk about with the upcoming workshops. So I did also, for the demonstrators out there that are not really scrapbookers, but are looking to transition a little bit, maybe expand a little bit, get out of their comfort zone. That's really who I created the workshops for, though I'm certainly going to use them myself, and I'm going to sell them to customers. Or have customers come here, you buy the workshop. I'm not selling the kit. I'm selling the workshop, like my, what would you call it, intellectual property. So, and all the layouts come from online somewhere. Very few of them are original designs by me. They're out there. If you do a Google search on scrapbook layouts, 12 by 12 layouts, that's usually where I get them from Pinterest. And I compile, again, a number of them together, and I make a cutting guide so that all of those can be done with the one paper pack. So, the 8.5 by 11 is what most Stampin' Up! Demonstrators get. First of all, it's cheaper. It's also easier because it's one color. You can get one color in a pack. I guess you can do a variety pack also, but it's one color in a pack, and it's just easier. It's cheaper. It's easier to store because it's smaller. And that's what they're used to because they're card makers. So I did make, where I could, alternate cutting guides for not only, I did the 12 by 12 cardstock, but then I also did the 8.5 by 11 where I could, or gave alternate suggestions where a shorter piece just wasn't going to work. So hopefully you don't have to buy anything else, because the whole goal of these workshops, and I did them years and years ago, more than a decade ago. And when I first started doing things at the house here, that's what I was doing. So the purpose is to use your stuff. Right? It's just to use the stuff. So when you're using your stuff, and it's not that you have to go out and you have to buy more, but I think that we feel a little better when we use something we have because we bought it to use it. And if you're like me, it's just sitting there somewhere. Well, let's try to get some of this done. So here's the difference in what I need for my workshops and what you would need versus what Stampin' Up! Always has. So I want you to see how I kit my paper. You've got paper. You can kit your paper. If your paper didn't come in kits, or if it came in very large kits, like lots of paper, you can create the kit you need. First of all, the sticker sheet, great. That's excellent. I don't do embellishments as a rule on my samples because everybody's doing something else. I may do them this time around, but your kit is going to look very different than mine if you're using your own paper and not the same paper as me. And that's okay. You're not making identical layouts in these workshops. You're making the layouts, but not with the same paper. So here's some of the problem. So close to my heart had gone down to, it used to be 4. I always bought 2 packs of the same thing because I always used front and back. Now this is double-sided, right? So you had 3 sheets, 2 sheets each, 3 different patterns, but really 6 because you had the back. So I always bought 2 paper packs. So yes, that was a little more expensive, but because I always wanted to use the back because I was doing 6 things. Now I want you to see here. You see how, like this, it's not a huge design, but it's a bigger design. That's a bigger design for sure. And this, it's a very subtle dashed line. And the green, it's like a map, like an aerial map. And that's the back of this one. This is the back of that one. And then you've got your basic plaid, again, in the coordinating colors. And on the back of that, you've got some plains. Again, coordinating colors. So, push these in so you can see them all. So all of these go together. And you have 2 sheets here that have larger designs on them. And then the rest, not so much. And that's okay. They're all designed, they're all coordinated. But here's the thing. If I had more sheets that looked like this, or like that, it's going to look the same when I cut it, because my cutting guide is going to tell you cut, this size from sheet 1 and this size from sheet 2. But if sheet 1 and sheet 2 look the same, what's the point? So as I put this back in here, let me give you a perfect example. Because if you're going to go out and buy paper packs, I'm actually hanging on with Stampin' Up! For now, just to see how they transition into scrapbooking. It's not fair for me to say that they're terrible at it yet, because they're still new at it and they're still learning with it, and their paper is great for cards and card makers, but just I'm trying to get this open if you can see that, but just not really great for scrapbookers in my opinion, and I'm going to show you why, especially if you're doing a multi-layout kind of deal. Now the first thing is I hate the way it's packaged. I mean, it's more economical, it ships better for sure, but this kind of Ziploc, I mean, so much easier. Yes, not as easy to store, but so much easier. And now what do? I've got to keep all this together. I have to try to wiggle it back into this package. If you know me, you know that's not going to happen. So it does tell me, now Close to My Heart told you what colors, and you can always use a color wheel to figure it out and to see what's close, because a lot of the colors are very close over time. And I'm sure it tells you, yep, it does here. It tells you down here what's used. So you know what papers go together, so you know what colors you need to order with each of the packs. It also tells you that on the website. You just have to click for it, which I find kind of crazy that it wouldn't just be right there. All right, so, I mean, cute, right? The otters, very cute. So here's that page. All right, and that's the back, so that's okay, because we've got that. But here's this. You have that as, let's say, our first sheet. You have this as our second sheet. And then you've got this as a third sheet. And then you've got this as a fourth sheet. And then this as a fifth sheet. What am I supposed to do with this? And this is the problem that I'm finding with Stampin' Up. And I'm not complaining about Stampin' Up. I'm complaining, but I'm complaining because I want you to see how you should be packing your kits, and that not all of these Stampin' Up! Paper packs that are meant for scrapbooking are good for scrapbooking. Now, this is the last one. Right? So this is okay because it's a nice big pattern, but remember, we had big patterns before. But this is the back. So this is okay. And I could use, I guess, one of these, but they're so similar I can't use two of them because it'll just look like I did the same paper on the layout. And this is okay, except, oops, that's the wrong thing. Okay, so this is okay. But the colors aren't always consistent on all of the pages. So now I've got that problem as well. I mean, this is okay. This is a nice, I guess it's like River Rocks. This is a nice sheet. It will coordinate nicely with these. But again, this isn't really in here. So then you have this, which is this in a different color. So how do I do those together? Because I don't know that that'll look very nice on a paper, on a page. And then I've got this, and okay, so I can utilize that. And it doesn't matter if it's up, down. I mean, I guess it does because there are fish in there, but it is what it is, really. And then I've got the fish. So I can probably, because I don't have otters. I live on Long Island. I mean, there's not even an otter upstate where my husband's hunting stuff is. It's a beaver that's up there building a dam. So, I mean, I can kind of utilize these, but this one, again, is the same thing, but I have that. So, all right, I can try this. I can maybe do some beaches with it or some marine life pictures or a vacation. Okay. But that made it really hard to figure out, and now I've got to pick cardstock to go with it. Now, yes, it tells me what cardstock, but I can't use the same blues, and I need for it to work with all of the pages. So I just I find this challenging. There are some easier ones, and one of the good things about the Stampin' Up! Website is that when you go to it, I'm going to open this one. I've used this before. When you open it, and you go to a paper pack, they call it designer paper series, I think, designer series paper, DSP. So when you go to a paper pack or DSP or pattern paper, you can click on it and it will have little thumbnail images that will expand and get larger for each of the papers in the pack, which is really nice. So you can see what it is. Now this one is likely going away because it's spring and it's been around for a while. So this is the flowering zinnia. Again, it tells you the colors. But again, I had to buy extra card stock because I wanted 12 by 12. So I couldn't just buy a pack that coordinated with this. This one is much more conducive to scrapbooking. All right, so we've got a huge image there. We've got this, which is great for cards. I don't think it's so hot for scrapbooking, to be honest. We've got this one. Okay, it's a smaller version. We've got a solid here. Okay. And we've got a green with leaves. Okay, and then we have this, which is, again, a whole lot like this. And if you use it this way, a whole lot like that. So we run into the same problem, but this pack is different because I mean, for 5 by 7 cards, this is awesome. Cut it in half, boom, boom, boom. You got 6 cards, good, you're done. Mat it, call it a day. But it's great on the back. So there's that. And you can cut these out to use for embellishments. You can use their die. It actually does that. I didn't have great luck with it, but it does do it, and I probably used the wrong one. You can also hand cut these if you weren't using the whole page, but it also has the purple on the back, so that looks great. So you can use this one, or you can use the orange. This is actually an orange. I know it's hard to see with no light here, but it's the orange with stars. So you'll want to use one of those two with the flowers in the front, but you get to pick. You can do this. You don't like the flowers. It has this. I'm not a fan. This is like a peachy color, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to stick with the flowers. Also, I'm not a fan of the leaves, but I love the stripes. And the pink, it's got zinnias, or if you turn it over, it's got a design. So really, this doesn't have to be those flowers at all. And I can mix and match and pick and choose. And when I'm doing my workshop and I'm cutting my papers, I can decide after if I'm going to use this side or this side on a particular layout. That's kind of the beauty of the cutting guides and the way that they work. You can see what works better. But this, I hope you can see how this is much more conducive to scrapbooking because it gives you a different variety. It gives you a variety of colors. It gives you the chance to add in different solids to go with it. This is no longer necessarily spring and flowery. If you take this away, you've got some really bright, bold birthday colors here. So that's what I want you to look for when you're looking at your papers. I want you to see what coordinates. What coordinates by colors, by color families. You don't want 2 sheets of stripes, but stripes and dots. Yeah, get a polka dot, get a stripe, get a flower, get some other design, have one large design, have 2 sheets of each. And I usually do it with 6 sheets of paper. 2 each of 6 designs is what I should say. So this one, way better. And you would see that on the website. So it's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to. This is actually going to be the first one that I start with. I'm going to, when I'm done with my Christmas cards, try out the first cutting guide that I did because I always try it out first. And I film when I cut it so that you have a video of the cutting guide if you buy the workshop. So the workshop is somewhere between $15 and $20, I think closer to $15. So what you would get with that, and that's true if you're here in person or not, it's not a free with purchase, it's a you can buy it. If you're a demonstrator, you can buy it, use it with your customers, but it's really not to be shared with your downline. If they want it, they are welcome to purchase it themselves. It's one per person, so it really shouldn't be, you buy it and then all your friends come together and you all use it. It's kind of like taking a class. It's on the honor system, which I hope I don't have to not do it that way, but it's on the honor system for now. You get the cutting guide video, which will be unlisted, so you'll get a link to it in an email. So it's the cutting guide video. It's the video of me putting the pieces together and how I put them together. It is a PDF of the cutting guide with instructions for the pattern paper for 12 by 12 solid cardstock, as well as for 8.5 by 11 solid cardstock as an alternate in case you don't have the 12 by 12 packs, or it's just too much of an investment, especially if you're running a workshop. Now, the reason that I don't make it a gift with purchase is, one, because I'm selling it to other demonstrators as well as customers, but also because I want you to use what you have. Get your kits out. Lots of people buy single sheets of paper, but lots of people buy kits. You buy packs of paper that are together, and those packs of paper are meant to be together. They're meant to coordinate. You don't have to have this paper. Just kit yours together. You don't have to have the Stampin' Up! 12 by 12. You have the Close to My Heart. You have, die cuts with a view. You have whatever cardstock that you have. Match it up. Match it up. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody's going to come after you, although people like to report me, but that's fine because they're not going to report you because you can do what you want. So it's all about the cutting guide and the workshop and getting your kits right. So if you have any questions, please contact me. Feel free to leave a message on the Facebook page. I don't really check the YouTube comments frequently, and I'm not even sure I get notified about them. But I wanted to throw this up there so that you saw where I was heading. You see the differences between the Close to My Heart, which was always scrapbooking, just, grab a kit and go. That's not as easy right now with Stampin' Up!, and I don't know if it will change. I know that they did hire at least one of the artists from Close to My Heart for the scrapbooking paper packs. So we'll see if that makes a change. But again, change is slow. This was an unexpected thing for Stampin' Up! It was unexpected for Close to My Heart. So we can't expect them to pivot and give us what we're used to or what I think is a better scrapbook product, on a dime. They're going to have time to pivot. They've got things in the works already, and to see how they can adjust. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, use your stuff. But if you do want to buy something, first of all, feel free. I would love to have you buy from my website. But if you already have a demonstrator, then I really would prefer that you buy from them, because it's not fair. You're not buying a product for me to get a gift with purchase. You're buying a how-to, a tutorial from me. So if you're buying the stuff from somebody else, that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay. The last thing I want you to do is to not buy from your regular demonstrator simply because I have something that you may want. That's why I don't do it as a gift with purchase. That's why I do it as a flat out purchase. So there'll be more information on the website as I get settled with this and as my Christmas cards are done. And there'll be lots more information on the Facebook page as well. So I'd love for you to join me over there. That's under Denise's Creative Cave as well. I think it might be under cards and scrapbook layouts, or I forget the exact wording, but Denise's Creative Cave is what it's under. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening. I hope that you're ready to kit your paper and get some scrapbooking done in 2025. And most importantly, use some of your hoarded stash. That's what we used to call it, the Use Your Hoarded Stash multi-layout classes. And I think that's what it's going to be again. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you soon.